Hey there, my gorgeous friends on the internet. Today I wanted to make an episode, kind of give you a life update of what's been going on here in my life and also kind of the direction that this YouTube channel is going. And also kind of my transition over from VSCode to Neovim. So you've probably seen that I haven't really been posting any videos for the past 3 or 4 weeks. And I've been going through like a burnout, but kind of like a YouTube burnout, not necessarily with coding. And what I mean by that is I've been coding probably the most I've ever coded in this past 2-3 months, and also learning about the coding. I've done the most probably in these last months. And the reason I've done that is because I feel like, you know, with YouTube, you kind of gotta stay on top of the algorithm. You gotta post, right? Like if you post, YouTube likes that. So at least a video, 2 videos, hopefully, you know, that'd be even better a week. If, you know, there's people out there in the web dev world that do it every day, which is like, I have no idea, but wow, mad props for you guys. I'm not that. I overthink a lot and it's pretty hard for me. But nonetheless, this past month, I've been thinking, hey, what kind of content do I really want to just talk about? Like, hey, here's a new library that came out in the JS world, and you know what, that's fun and exciting. Will my viewers actually leave with something, you know, informative, or like, oh, that's something really cool that I want to look into further? And I just felt like, you know, with libraries and stuff like that, it just becomes a bit monotone, or doing like the same type of projects and different programming languages can be a bit like, oh, okay. So for the past month or so, I kind of took time away to just like learn new stuff. As much as I enjoy making videos, it's hard to kind of also learn a lot of new stuff at the same time. Maybe like other YouTubers have experience with this, but like just get into a bunch of other stuff. So I picked up a bunch of books. I started learning a lot of Go. And there's the book called Let's Go. It's super fantastic. I've been getting into algorithms. I've been getting into math. I've been getting into low level stuff. And I'm just loving it. You know, it's super exciting. So I thought I'll probably at the beginning of next year, I'll start making content regarding those as well. So we'll kind of, I'm not saying leave the JavaScript ecosystem, just kind of taking a step back and look at the more overall picture and concepts over like computer science. So I really hope you're gonna like enjoy this change. And also for the past month, I really wanted to change my editor. Like I was just sick of VS Code. I felt like I was really slow in it. There's a bunch of things that I absolutely hate in it. Let me clean up this background as well, because there's a lot of crap here. Okay, that looks much better now. Sorry, let me just fix this quickly. There, does that look a little bit better? Hopefully. So yeah, anyway, hope you are excited for all the new content that's about to come. I am really buzzing for it. And yeah, it's been crazy. It's been like 7-8 years since we've got this YouTube channel going, and I'm just so thankful that I still have some sort of presence here. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see how we can set up the sucker here in the background. Now, a lot of people told me, hey, you should try this distro, or this one, LazyVim, or LunarVim, or whatever. So I went through all of them in these past months and kind of tinkered around with all of them. And I kind of want to just give you like a quick no BS way to just get going with Neovim. I think that's the most important thing that a lot of like tutorials miss, is that a lot of people just want to switch over and they want a quick way with like as less friction as possible. If you do want to set up one from scratch, I'm not gonna make that because there's already a really good one called Kickstart, and that goes through everything in a much better way that I can ever do it. So just do that if you want, but if you want a quick no BS way of how I have it set up here to work with, you know, React and have all the LSP set up for TypeScript, the little Tailwind customizations and all of that jazz, then stay along and watch. Okay, so let's get going. All right, so let's get going. So again, I highly recommend you to check out Kickstart as well once you get comfortable with a couple of concepts and, you know, messing around with Lua files. And then this is a nice progression to go after. Again, I spent like 3 weeks just messing around with the config file, so it can take a while and you can get lost in that world. MVChat is another great option that just gives you a bunch of really nice defaults and then you can just get going with it. But one I really liked that starts off quite like simple and bare bones, and then you can just build on top of it really fast and really easy, is AstroVim. All right, so that's what I'm gonna be using. That's kind of how I ended up setting up in the end. I was making my own config file. I was just happy with the defaults in here, and I just really liked how everything worked. So that's why I went with AstroVim, and just adding new stuff to it is super easy. So let's just go here to the get started. One thing that you need to have before you get going is gonna be a nerd font. So make sure you download one of these from here. The one I'm using is Proto something. Proton, Mr. Proton here, this one, all right? And also the icons associated with it. So make sure you have that downloaded, and then your terminal also needs to support it. Now, I recently made the transition. I moved over to my Mac, so I'm mainly working on my Mac now. So I thought, hey, let's just do it on Windows as well. So I'm just using the Windows terminal here, which is whatever, but it is what it is. Okay, so when you run NVim, you're gonna get something like this, right? There's not much you can do here. You don't really get much. So let's just close this up. We can do :Q and just close it. All right. So let's head over here to the starter page and let's just install this. So let's zoom in here and have a look. And all we really need is this git clone here. So let's copy that and paste it in the terminal and hit enter. And there we go, we are good to go. So now this is gonna make a config file. So in your root directory, you can do a cd into your config like that. If you do an ls here, you should see a new nvim there. So cd into nvim, and then you can just run nvim again. Or let's just say ls. Yeah, let's just do nvim. There we go. So this is gonna start up. It's gonna install a bunch of packages for us and a bunch of dependencies here, and we'll go through everything that you need to know. Okay, so let's just head over here. This is a landing page that I have for my Next.js course. Let's just launch this with nvim. And to navigate between files, again, you can pull up the file tree. It already has this installed, so you can do space and E. As you can see, we can toggle the file tree. We can go in here, we can open this up. You can delete if you press D there. As you can see, it says, do you want to delete? You can create new files with A, and then you just type in the file. So that's great. And then you can do space FF to pull up Telescope as well, which is really easy to find a specific file. So here's my page TSX, right? So I can search that and also get a nice quick preview. And with live grep, you can also search specific text across all of the different files in your directory, which is great. So just press space F, and then there's all your commands that you need to know. And I highly recommend you just pressing space if you're new coming from VS Code, and just go over all of these one by one and kind of see what they do. So look, space C, that means close buffer. So it's gonna close the active page.txt that I have opened here, like that. See? Okay, so great. So let's just head back here. Let's go back. Okay, so what are some basic things that we really want? Again, I'm not gonna go through what's insert mode and what's visual mode and stuff like that. We can do another different tutorial on that if you're interested in something like that. But what we want first of all is I want TypeScript in here, right? I want this to be I want to be able to say router here and say use router, right? And get some nice autocomplete here as well. And as you can see, nothing happens right now. So let me just delete that and do :write to save. All right, so let's get the TypeScript installed here. I also want previews for Tailwind and stuff like that. So when I go here and do a class name, see, it doesn't even recognize that. I want text to Excel, right? I want that to be easily recognized. Let's undo this like that. Okay, cool. So let's get going with that. So we'll just head back here and open up our AstroVim. Open this up with Shift E, space E. And here they already have a couple of plugins that are added. But as you can see, they have this if true, then return nothing. So you can incrementally add this one by one. So one that we'll need is the LSP here, so Astro LSP. So make sure you grab this and activate it. You can just do DD here at the top to remove that line and hit :W, all right? And that's gonna activate this. So anything that we add now here in the Mason Lua, as you can see, they have a Mason LSP config right here. We can just pass in all the LSPs we want to activate. And now here in the Mason Lua, as you can see, they have a Mason LSP config. right here, we can just go and pass down the LSPs we want to use. So we want one for TypeScript, and the name for that is going to be TSLS. And you can have a look at the GitHub page with all the supported ones, or you can even do Mason install, or I think you can just pass in Mason if I believe, and then you can have a look here. Oh, there we go, see? And then you can just go through all the available language servers here. But TSLS is one we're gonna need, that's really important, and Tailwind CSS. All right, so just passing these two options and hitting save, and making sure that here, if we go to the beginning again of the file, we remove this if true. So let's hit save on that, and then we can go back to our project and give this a go. So I'll just close this up, just reopen it, and let's have a look. So I'll go to our page here, and look at that, initializing Lua LS, installing TSLS, and the Tailwind as well. Head back here and look at that, the language server now gets recognized down here. As you can see, TSLS. So now let's try this. If we go here and do something like const router is equal to use route, and look at that, it gets recognized from next router, right? So we can just simply import that, and then we can also see kind of what arguments it takes in. And look at that, we are getting errors as well if something is wrong now. See, expression detected, unexpected. And for example, here when we're importing something, it says, hey, it's declared, but its value is never used. All right, so that's pretty good. We are, we're getting there, right? And then let's also try the class name works as well, so that's great. And then let's see if the Tailwind stuff works. So I can do text to Excel, there we go, nice, or text red, and look at that, we get all the different values here. Now, it'd be cool if we had another little extension to kind of highlight the colors of these, you know, make it look a bit nicer and stuff like that. And this is kind of where the Astro community packages come in, which are super duper fantastic. So if we head over to Astro community here on the GitHub, as you can see, they have a bunch of different plugins that we can already start using. So this is great because there's certain ones that are set up for Tailwind and stuff like that. So you just need to add one little thing in your config file and you're up and running. So one way, we could just go here and search Tailwind, for example, and look at that. They have a pack called Pack Tailwind CSS. There we go. So this adds basically CSS to the tree sitter. It adds the Tailwind CSS LSP, which we already had. So you can add it like that, the way we did. Or if you add one of these packages, it's automatically going to add it for you. So this also adds CSS LS, which is pretty good. And it also adds a formatter for us, like prettierd. But it also adds this package called Tailwind Colorizer, which is fantastic because then you get this nice preview of all the colors and you can even see it in your text editor. So these packs usually have a lot of stuff that you might want, but you don't need to kind of separately install it from different places. And the way you add it is super duper easy. So let's head back here to our config. And then here, if we head over to the community, as you can see, we can enable this file now. And then we can just go here, for example, and add the new one. So we can say import equal to, and we're going to say Astro community like that, .pack, and the pack name of this is Tailwind CSS like that. So let's hit save on that, and let's give this another go. So we're going to close it up. Oops. Let's get rid of that. Save, close, reopen, and look at that. It's installing all the Tailwind stuff for us. Cool. And the tree sitter basically gives you like the ability to kind of highlight text and kind of recognize kind of what file you're working with. So let's head back here and have a look now. And would you look at that? Look, our text red is now 500, so that works. Lovely job. So let's see in the autocomplete as well. If we do text blue, look at that, gorgeous. All right, so we got that out of the way. Lovely. Now, what other things would I like? And that would be really convenient here for me. Well, one would be to kind of see these error messages, right? Or kind of see what's going on with my file. You might have an error message that's like not as simple as this. You know, you might have like a big type error that you're working with. Come on, finish up installing. There we go. So it added prettier as well, as you can see down here. But, you know, you might have here, like you're passing in like an argument. Let's do test, right? And blah, blah, blah. Look at that error message, right? This is just like a snippet that it gives you. And I think you can disable this with virtual text. But for now, what we want to do is just kind of have the ability to diagnose all the files and kind of see all the error messages that we get. So it'd be really nice to just have a simple command where we press space and then something to get that enabled, right? So a really good package for that is called, I forgot the name of it, Trouble. It's called Trouble. So if we go here and just search Trouble, as you can see, there is another package that's automatically set up for us. And again, if you do want to extend this or modify it and customize it to your own needs, you can still do that through the opts. So let's get this going. How can we install it? So it's pretty much kind of the same way, where we go here and we say import, and we'll set the equal to, or say Astro community. We'll go to the pack, and the pack name, sorry, it's not pack in this case, it's diagnostics. So we need to rename that to diagnostics, like that. And then we just say trouble and vim, like that. Let's hit save and see how that works now. So let's close this up. We'll leave the error message there. Let's save the changes there and quit. Head back. And as you can see, since we installed that Tailwind package, we got the formatting working there as well. So on the save there, let's just go here, add a tab, right? There we go. Look at that. Boom. Automatically formatted. Oh, I forgot the comma here. Let's add the comma. Otherwise, it's not working. Let's save that again. Okay, cool. So let's get back here. Okay, and then now when we run it, as you can see, it's installing Trouble. So now if I just head over to my page again, let's do page tsx. There we go. We have the test error, but now I can do space and hit X. And as you can see now with Trouble, I have a bunch of different commands here that I can use. So a really simple one for the current document that you can do. As you can see, you have one for the workspace as well, but you just do space XX. And when you do space XX, as you can see, it just pops up all the different error messages and hints that's going on in your current file. So when you have this X here, let me just close this up, right? The little X here, that gives you the full like message here of the error. All right, so that's how you can spot it. And then when you have this little light bulb here, that just gives you something like not an error. How do you even say this? Just something that might not necessarily be there, like a warning, right? But again, you might have a big file and you don't want to scroll through this, so you might just want to do space XX and then boom, there we go. That's all the different things across my file. So anyway, that's something I really like. I also really like how AstroVim kind of sets up the icons here of everything that we modified or deleted across this file. So it has a nice Git integration here. So as you can see, +1 means that we added a new line. 8 lines got modified, and we can see it by the color here on the left as well. And then the red is lines that got removed, right? So if I want to remove these two, boom, all right, we got the red line there. So let's go back here and hit :W and hit save on that. Okay, so we are getting there. All right, we have our diagnostics ready. We have our LSP ready. Now, what else do we want? Well, I kind of would like to be able to, I don't know, like go over something like this nav, right? I kind of want to see this, right? What is this? Function nav, or if I want to go on summary here, right? I want to be able to pop this open really easily and visualize this. And the way you can do that currently is if I go here, I can do Shift and K, right? And that's going to give me a little pop-up. This is great if you have types or whatever, right? And you quickly want to visualize, hey, like, what am I passing down here? Like, what is the type of this? I'm happy with pressing like Shift K on this, but it'd be also nice to, don't crucify me, to be able to like hover over something and just to quickly see the type of that. And I found a little package that you can do this with. So I think it's an easy way, especially for a lot of VS Code folks out there. I know they like their hover. So if you're interested in something like that, search hover here in the community. And as you can see, there's one called Hover.nvim. And that's essentially what it allows you to do. When you hover over a property or a type or something, it'll give you that nice preview. So let's add this. We'll go back here. And let's import that. So we'll say import equals to community. Gosh, Utility. I never learned how to spell utility, but we'll give it a crack. Even seeing it, I still feel like I'm gonna mistype it. Hover.nvim. All right, so let's give that a go. But again, if you're happy, maybe this is something that I still like need to get used to, just doing Shift K. But I do like the hover as well. So let's close this up, reopen this. Hover is getting installed, fantastic. So if we go over to, let's just pop a component open here, right? So now, if I hover over this, look at that, all right? We're getting the nice pop-up. There we go. All right, so if this is something you really wanted, that's how you got it. But again, you can even set this up so like when I do go over a text here, after a certain amount of time, you know, pops up. But I'm happy with the Shift K. So sometimes I do like to just still like grab my mouse or whatever. Maybe I'm not gonna do that in the future, but for now, I am doing that. If this episode sparked up your curiosity with NVim, let me also give you something that sparks up your creativity. Today's sponsor, Brilliant. Have you ever hit a wall trying to understand a tricky programming concept or a math problem? Trust me, I've been there hundreds of times. That's where I found Brilliant, and it completely changed the game for me. Brilliant is where you learn by doing, with thousands of interactive lessons in math, programming, data, and AI. Instead of just watching long, boring lectures, you solve problems step by step, building skills that stick. And having these gamified, like super interactive lessons is just super fun, and it's been proven to be 6 times more effective than traditional learning methods. Plus, it's perfect for building a daily learning habit, whether you're diving deep into Python or exploring, you know, AI concepts. I highly recommend you check out their Computer Science Fundamentals module. It's a really great way to learn more about arrays and data structures, and also things like binary search and sorting arrays, which is like really crucial when it comes to, you know, building out quality software. So if you're ready to spark up your creativity, you can visit the link in the description below or check out brilliant.org/developbyed. You can also scan the QR code right here and you will get a full 30 days for free and also 20% off your annual subscription. Don't just learn brilliantly. Now, another thing, I found it just like a little bit hard for me. I don't know, my eyes get freaky. They get really weird. So if I want to move quickly across the file, right, you can do GG. Good game, right? GG goes to the top of the file. You can do Shift G, that jumps to the bottom. And then you can even like go around like that with the Shift as well. But for me, like instantly jumping like that is just, my eyes go weird and I'm not even sure where I am anymore. So I really like a package called Mini that you can add, which is gonna just kind of like smoothly transition. Like if I skip down like that really quickly, you can actually see like a nice scrolling effect to it. And even with like the cursor, right, I'm here, like if I'm jumping around with this, it'll animate that as well. So you can get that if we search Mini here. I kind of forgot what it was called. Here we go, it's called Mini Animate. So let's head over to that and install that. So that's in scrolling here. And you can check out more of the configuration here and kind of what it does, but let's add it. So let's head back over here. Let's do import equals to Astro Community. And this is under scrolling, all right? So scrolling, and then we can add Mini Animate. There we go. So let's give that a go now. Let's head back over here. Let's close this up, reopen this. There we go, it's installing, lovely. So let's try this again on another component. Let's go here to highlights, and now let's see if I do shift and up and down, look at that, we get a nice animation. All right, that's so much better for me. There we go, now even when we click here, see how it jumps around? Yeah, I really like that. I just noticed this hover text above. Who added this? Where did you come from? What are you up for me? Go! Now, another really important thing that I kind of live without is going to a specific component's definition, right? Or to see its signature. And the way you can do that, that's already pre-configured here for you. So you can easily just go over to component, let's say stack here. I can do G for that and then D. And as you can see, that goes straight to the definition here. And now I can edit that specific component. Now, as you can see, we have two buffers here at the top of the page now that we have open. So when we did space FF, that's just gonna search for all the files. But if you wanna just search between the buffers that you have active, you can do space F, and look at that, find buffers. So you can do B for that, and that's only gonna do these two. So that's why it's quite nice to just kind of familiarize yourself with the commands, and then you can just be much more effective. Now, another thing in Neovim that I feel like is quite important is when you go in insert mode, right? You do your typing, whatever, use router. One thing I would really like is here to see, just based on, I don't know, like I like to have a kind of how VSCode has it, where it says use router, but it also says function here, right, with a nice icon. Right now it just says use router and has a little F there, but I'm not too happy with the look of it. So I want to change that as well. But not only that, I also want a quick way to exit out of insert mode, because right now, if I want to go back, I need to do escape, right? And then I'm here, right? So then I can do whatever. But going to escape every time can feel a bit hard sometimes. So they already have a little user Lua here set up that already has a couple of things added that you can nicely configure. So one, let's just activate this file. One that they have here is called Alpha.nvim. And this is really nice. You can customize the front page here to whatever you want. As you can see, it's AstroVim now. But there is a cool website that lets you type out ASCII and do ASCII drawings. So if you want to configure this a bit nicer, there's a cool website called patrojk.com. And here you can basically type in any text, and then it's going to give you a nice ASCII here. So let's do lock in, right? Lock in. And then let's choose a different font. As you can see, you can choose your own font, and then you can just copy and paste this over like that. And then you just need to make sure you wrap it around in the brackets. But for now, like if I grab this, for example, I just remove this last two lines to show you that it works. I'm gonna hit save, and we'll see the next time we open up NVim, that should be missing. And then here we go, better escape. This is another great plugin here that we can just enable. So we can just say true here. And this is gonna allow us to essentially escape insert mode just by typing JJ really quickly. All right, so we'll give that a go. There's other stuff here like LuaSnip that you can look into. Autopairs is something that you probably wanna have active as well. So when you do, you know, parentheses or curly brackets, it automatically completes that for you. So that's another really important one that I wanted to have. So it's already there, thankfully, so we can just simply enable it and then kind of see what it does. So let's open this up again. NVim like that. It's gonna do the LSP signature and the color. Oh, look at that. Look, see, now it's missing. It worked. Yes. So we can add our own little animations there in drawings. Awesome. So let's give this a go. So I'm going in insert mode. Let's type something in, do JJ, and boom, look at that. I exited insert mode just like that without needing to go over to my space bar. So there we go. That's great. All right, let's test out the auto pairs as well. So let's just go here and let's just open this up. Let's just say I have an array here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dot map. And look at that. It automatically completes the pairs for us. And the fantastic thing with the auto pairs is that we also have, it's gonna rename here our HTML, right? So if I go to this section here and I do HTML, for example, and I do JJ, right, to exit out of it, look at that, it renames the last tag as well to HTML. So if I go back and change that to section now, JJ, and look at that, it automatically updates. So that's a really important one for me, and you can just uncomment that from the user Lua file. Last but not least, I'm not working with this theme. I don't like this theme too much. It is nice, but I want to show you how you can set up your custom theme as well. And maybe you want to modify the icons here, you know, on the side. Maybe you don't want to have these icons. So let me show you how we can do that. So the one I really been enjoying is called Roxpin, and I pretty much fully switched to this one. So the installation is as simple as getting the lazy NVim here. I can make a new file if I go back to the Lua here. So I just call this color scheme.lua, for example. Here, I'll just return this Roxpin like that, hit save. and they automatically have this nice little file here set up called, what is it? Astro UI, all right, this one. So this allows us to easily update and edit the UI of our configuration. So let's enable this file, and all we need to do is go here to the color scheme and change this over to Roxpin. And it's as simple as that, and you are done with that. Same, I really highly recommend you to just go through these and kind of check it out. They also have an Astro core here set up that has a bunch of really nice features. For example, for the buffer size here, right? It has a cap on it for 10,000 lines. So, you know, it wouldn't pull up a file when you're searching quickly through it if it has, you know, a huge number of lines in it. And then the Autopairs, and make sure it's true here, make sure that CMP is on, and just a bunch of really nice ones, like the wrap as well here, right? If you want word wrap to be enabled. So for me, I do want that, especially for tutorials, so I'll switch that over to true. So I really recommend you to kind of go through these and kind of see what they have. Again, mappings, if you want custom mappings, you can do that through the Astro core. So I'll just enable this as well, hit save, and let's see if this color scheme applies. So I'll just exit out of it and go back in. As you can see, Roxpin is getting installed, and we are officially on Roxpin. That looks great. Lovely job. Okay. Awesome. Last but not least, if you do want to customize the icons, they do have this already in the docs here. So AstroVim docs icons. Let's just search for that. Let's go here to the docs. And here we go. I believe it was somewhere down there. Here we go. Customize icons. So what you can do here is just copy over this big file here at the bottom. I'll just pop it in here for the users for now. So let's just go down here and paste that in. There we go. And let's say I want to change this X icon here at the top, which is our buffer close. If you want to customize this, I highly recommend you to just go over to Nerd Font right here, and then kind of see what icons they have. So I can search X, for example, for the X icon. So let's say I want to add this instead. I can get the icon there and copy that, and I'll go here and paste that in instead. So when I do right now and I close this up and reopen it, the buffer now, as you can see, is going to have that specific X icon. So it worked. Lovely. And since we also added this in the, where is it, down here, so like you can change the git add, the git conflict, just kind of set it up to your own liking here. But here for the LSP kind, right, we have a preset and the symbol map as well. So a number is going to have its own, the package, string. One more thing I want to do is change the mode here to also show the text. So we can say opts like that, and the mode is going to be equal to, and I'm going to change this to, I think the default is symbol. So I'm going to do symbol text instead, like that. So let's hit right and give this another go. So let's head here, for example, and let's say I want to make another use ref here. So const test equals use. And as you can see now, it actually says that it's a function there, and it also has a nice little icon associated with it. So I just much prefer that rather than just having use ref here like that on its own. So there we go. So that's pretty much kind of everything I use to have my NVim set up now. It's just about kind of experiencing and going through all the different commands and getting used to all of that. So hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you want to give Neovim a try. I think once you kind of get your fingers around it and start like really getting into, you know, doing the keys without really thinking about it, you're going to see the big benefit of it. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.